We will start our it's good in the morning every day when you wake up. Just allow the mind to recall asatoma satgamaya tamasoma jyotirgamaya mrityurma amritangamaya, moving from the false to the real, from ignorance to wisdom, and from the mortality to immortality. At least your mind should be able to recall what exactly is the journey we are undertaking. Body is moving. Is body possess the does the body possess the consciousness? Does the mind possess the consciousness, or the consciousness is independent? So once we filter out what is false and real, we realize that the consciousness is the ultimate reality. It is because of the consciousness, the body becomes conscious, the mind becomes conscious. Once I realize, then is there any reason to be scared of death? No. I'm consciousness. I'm all pervading. And what the mind, body, and the mind does not have that consciousness, body will live and go. Mind also lives and goes. What happens in deep sleep? Mind is not there. But still that consciousness is there. Can we realize that state? That state is nothing but what is known as awakening, knowing the real self. But because the mind has a tremendous impurity that we have been talking about, we need to purify the mind. Why? The knowledge of the real self will continue to stay in the purity of the mind. It will not stay in the impurity of the mind. It will not stay in the as long as there is an impurity in the mind. Now, the more impurities, then I will understand intellectually, but there will be no realization. And that is the reason we are purifying the mind. We have 6 conventional methods. We have been talking about the first conventional method we have already finished, that is known as the yajna. Yajna means that I want to get rid of the selfishness, consumership. You look at the space, it is always available for me. Whether I'm in New Jersey or here in US or India, everywhere. As if it follows me. And I'm thankless. Why I'm thankless? Because the mind has created a division because of my ego. Ego creates a selfishness. That is the greatest impurity. So we have done the yajna, and the second is the dana, the charity we have understood. Charity. But charity is not charity in quality, not in quantity. Another concept and understanding of the charity is that charity is at physical level, mental level, emotional level. We can do charity at all the time. If I'm passing on this knowledge with a big idea of an ego, then that this is not the charity. But if I feel that, oh, the knowledge has come from my master, my master learned it from his master, and the entire tradition is 8 to 10,000 years old. And I'm passing on this wisdom. Even the knowledge becomes the charity. Whether it's in kind, or it is the knowledge, or it is. So what happens that I change my attitude inside, and that attitude in the mind changes my behavior. And behavior and attitude ultimately dissolves that ego. When the ego is dissolved, that real self comes in front and we realize it. So that is what the second group of practice, which is known as dana, dana or the charity. Another idea to break up and dissolve this idea of a big ego. We claim, I possess house, I possess this much of money, I possess car, and I possess so many things. So this idea of possessing is always there in our head. Based on that, there is our behavior and attitude. So dana helps us to break up this wrong and the false notion. If the dollar is not there in the world, how can I possess any dollar? If the space is not present in the entire universe, how can I claim that I possess home? It all belongs to the earth. Here, pay attention. We want to change that attitude and behavior in our mind. Whatever we possess, we claim all comes from the world outside. Nothing belongs to me. That is why after the death, the bank account does not go with me. Car does not go with me. We know it. But now we understand that what we claim we possess, fact is that it does not belong to me. Yes, at the transactional level, yes. At the transactional level, I possess. No, we say working capital. So at the transactional level, we possess. Otherwise, we don't possess anything of that. So our claim is false. And that creates a false I. And the false I is equal to, you remember, false I is equal to body mind complex plus real self. False I is equal to another explanation. Just pay attention. The false I or the individual self is equal to body mind complex plus the activities of the body mind complex plus the pain and the pleasure plus the likes and dislikes plus hatred and jealousy plus real self. And what is real self? Individual self minus all this. So by changing that attitude, we start living into that awareness so that we can approach the real self. And that is why we have a charity as a conventional method of purification. Change the mind and emotion. Charity also changes the mind and emotion. But yes, if I offer out of the ego, then it doesn't change anything. To recognize what has come to me, what belongs to me, will leave me one day. Then the question comes, why I'm seeking so much, too much. I want lot of everything. So when I recognize that they all belong to, not to me, but it belongs to the entire universe. It has come to me, it will go back. Mind comes down. Mind comes down. So why I feel so? Because the first reason that I recognize the consumer in me, selfishness in me. I realize, I recognize what we have and what we possess. Not only that, but now we also know everyone has pure emotion, goodness, kindness, empathy, love. They are always hidden inside. We tend to become selfish. So when you are doing the charity, you recognize that, no, I also offer the pure emotion. Can I pass into you? Feeling, good feeling, kindness. That also comes under the charity. It is not only the wealth. So by the understanding this charity, now we also know what other attitude, emotions that we possess, and I can spare that. I can participate into the evolution of others. That is the another way to understand what is this charity is that. Right attitude. You want to change your attitude without the charity, not possible. Just try to do it. No, no, I have started thinking. It will not work. So our master says that this practice of charity is significant in the spiritual journey. It helps the individual transcend the self-centeredness and cultivate a deep sense of purpose. My master also used to say that just as the lotus flower emerges pure and beautiful from the muddy water, the practice of charity helps the mind emerge pure and compassionate from the mud of ego, attachment, and self centeredness. Just put it that way. Think in that. And another way you can also understand that charity is like a seed that when planted with the right intention grows into a tree of compassion and bearing the fruits of the peace, contentment, and heightened level of awareness. That is why you see the Buddhas, Jesus, and all great teachers. We need to sit down and contemplate about this. And once you contemplate, the last week gave you one perspective of the dana, and today is another perspective of dana, so that we should understand it clearly. One master says the more you give, the more you will definitely receive. But what you receive in terms of more lies with the existence, lies with our how much we have changed. But you start giving with an idea of an ego that I'm sparing. One guy in Europe told me that I donated $1,000 to the church. My wife has a cancer in it now. Why God is not helping me? It will not work. It doesn't work that way, because with that idea of an ego, as if you are sparing something to the existence, I don't recognize that from where it has come. So don't think in that way. When the master says the more you give, the more you will receive. In terms of peace, in terms of calmness, by doing the charity, you don't experience that peace and calmness, it is not charity. Charity is not a matter of quantity, it is a matter of quality. It is not just how much you give, but how you give, that matters. We need to contemplate and reflect on this with that idea of giving, and whether at the physical level, at the mental level, at this, purely at the physical level. So, what exactly happens? Our mind continues to change. It brings the attitude of gratitude and belongingness. Normally, we practice gratitude intellectually. It will not work. It doesn't work that way. You have that attitude of gratitude. Do you have that sense of humility, sincerity, calmness? No. Attitude of gratitude comes with the ego. That is not gratitude. So it comes offering without any expectation. That we need to clearly understand. So, will it happen in one day? No. You continue the journey with that attitude, and after few weeks and a month, you will recognize that it is helping me. It is evolving me. What will happen? Every time your mind will remember the act of giving. And he says, can you bring a cup of tea? No, no, I'm busy. Why don't you understand that? It's your job. Your attitude has not changed. It's a matter only of a cup of tea. Here. So you can check it. I'm saying in a simple way. So your attitude of givingness is there. Oh, honey, yes, yes, just wait for a while. I'll just bring it. It's not a matter of ego. My master used to say that with the near and the dear ones, we have a big ego. We have a pride. We have a sense of possession. So called, we have a sense of self respect. There is no self respect. They're talking of ego. So we have to think about it. If we don't think in this way, then we will continue to uh, practice the charity in a wrong or false way. The master says that I have to get rid of this attitude of consumership, selfishness, and ego. It is a retraining of the mind at all the movement, retraining the mind, educating the mind. Whether I have to give something to the near and the dear ones or outside. I told you, it changes the attitude, it changes the mind, it changes the behavior. So, what is going to happen? Every time you follow this charity at the physical, mental, and emotional level, it creates a positive cycle in the mind. And once it creates a positive cycle, you will find that you are totally relaxed and calm. That is what we want. So, calmness, to live, continue to live into that state of calmness, you have no moment of anxiety reaction throughout the day, the moment you wake up in the morning until you retire to the bed. Obviously, it is the purity of the mind. Find out how many times you were anxious, reactive, have duality and a conflict every day. The moment you wake up in the morning until you retire to the bed. How many times? You will find out the attitude of your mind. So we can observe, we can find those changes. Close your eyes, place, position, and the posture. Eyes are closed and eyes are closed and first find out the place, the space all around your body. Then check this body is comfortable. Then check the position of the body is also at ease. You are not stressing, pressing any part of the body because of the position. You are aware. It's all a matter of awareness. So once we have a right place, position in the posture, we move the mind inside. Or you can say we change the mind, we change the direction of the mind. That awareness needs to happen. So we change the direction of the mind. The world outside, mind is distracted, expanded. Now we say, mind, look at the neck joint. So we have changed the direction. When you change the direction of the mind, the state of the mind changes. Experience consciously. And that is why I said, look at the neck joint, be there. Looking means you are aware, you feel it. That's enough. And then look inside the neck joint. What do you find? It is the space inside, the space beyond the world. And that you experience the sensation, comfort, and steadiness. The shoulder joints, be there, feel the sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Move the mind on the hip joint, be there, feel the sensation, comfort, and steadiness. The entire body. Don't be in a hurry. Move the mind, or if I say, feel the entire body from the top of the head to the toes. We are just silently with kindness. We're asking the mind, why don't you see, feel, and be aware of the entire body from the top of the head to the toes? intelligently, we are changing the direction of the mind. And you experience the sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Now, being carefree, apply that knowledge. Being carefree, you expand it. Oh, carefree means free from the cares. But who cares me? It is the impulsive, instinctive, habitual, selfish mind. And I don't want that mind should care me. No, but why? Because that is why we have undesirable, unwelcome thoughts that continues to pour into my mind throughout the day when I wake up in the morning until honey says, "Oh, can I have a cup of tea?" And your mind is impulsively reacts. Do you see that? That is why we need to be carefree. In being carefree, we have to separate, not we have to separate, but we have to experience the separation of the thoughts, feeling, and emotions from the deeper layer of the mind. How to do that? Simply look inside the forehead in the space. So I'm comparing, giving you a metaphor at the same time. We see the highway. So in the highway where you have a light traffic, you have a heavy traffic, or you have a traffic jam, same way that space inside the mind is there. You have a light traffic of the thoughts. One or two thoughts are coming and going and you are not impacted by it. Heavy thoughts in anxiety, in duality, in a conflict, and when mind is governed by the impulsive nature. And then there is a traffic jam. You cannot think properly and rightly. Traffic jam. So, what exactly is the message of being carefree? Highway remains untouched by the traffic. Highway remains the highway. Same way, the space or the emptiness of the sky inside the mind remains untouched by any number of thought, any kind of the thought, feeling, or any kind of emotion. So now I could see that separation. So when I see they are me, thought is me, it causes a lot of problem. So once we experience that sense of carefreeness, it is always good to have a satoma satagamaya. You invite the thought. This is mantra. I'm moving from the false to the real. What is false? All these thoughts, light traffic, heavy traffic, or traffic jam. Tamasu ma jyotirgamaya, moving from the ignorance to the wisdom. Ignorance, the misconception, misunderstanding that I am the body and the mind. I have to remove that. Then I recognize tamas mrityurma mritangamaya. Then I recognize what? I recognize that I am the real self. I'm not the body and the mind, intellect, and the ego. The mind does not understand easily because of so many impressions, impulsive nature, habits, etc., etc. So we look inside the forehead again into the space. When you see the space, you start dropping mentally, emotionally, Shantoham, Shantoham, with a little space, Shantoham, Shantoham mentally. without moving the lips and the tongue. So stillness in the body, dropping Shantoham and start breathing quick and short breath into your rib cage through the nostrils, through both the nostrils. You continue. Remember, you are breathing for the quick and short breath. You are dropping Shanto hum gently and keeping the body in the state of the stillness. You may experience certain changes, certain sights and colors. Let it be so. Continue. Continue breathing, continue saying Shantu Ham. Again, we are into the purification of the mind. Continue breathing. The mind will have a resistance. You endure that resistance. Your intellect says, no, I will continue to do it. Mind says no. Which mind says? The impulsive mind. It doesn't want to change its habit and attitude. And stop it. Just experience the change in the sensation. Through the sensation, I can take the mind deep within. That is how our masters have discovered. So we did something, now we experience the changes, we notice those changes, and through these changes, we can help the mind to go within. Look at the head and the neck. Our mind goes to the head and the neck outside. and experience sensation, relaxation, and stillness. So we experience the sensation, relaxation, and stillness outside, and from there you move the mind and start looking inside the head and the neck. So, how to recognize uh, that the mind is living within? Inside the head, explore any space. Is there? Yes, that is quietness. Do you explore any sensation inside the head? Yes, that is calmness. It is a signature of the calmness. Look at the right arm outside. Sensation, relaxation, and stillness inside the right arm. Space and sensation. You explore it. That is what I would say it is. That you have a cognition of calmness and quietness. Look at the left arm outside and experience sensation, relaxation, and stillness. And inside the left arm, calmness and quiet. Look at the middle portion of the body from the shoulder down to the waist, in the front and the back. Outside the middle portion, actually, your mind, you're aware, you feel the skin, and that gives you an experience of sensation, relaxation, and stillness. And looking inside, maybe inside the heart, maybe we find the space, explore the space, which is quietness, and the sensation, which is calmness. Now, even at this moment, any unwanted thought comes, enters into your mind, you're not at all worried. Looking at the right leg, sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Looking inside, calmness and quietness. Looking at the left leg outside, sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Looking inside, calmness and quietness. The entire body, from the top of the head to the toes, outside, sensation, relaxation, and stillness. And move the mind, drop the mind from the top center of the head inside, exploring the space and the sensation. You know, that space may be colorful, may have the vision. It's okay. At least it is very clear that the mind is living within, or you are simply absorbed into the dark space. So when you're totally absorbed, you feel as if you have transcended the body dissolved. That is a good understanding, good realization. In that state, you look at the breath. Now, don't look at the breath is flowing on its own. no change in the rate and the rhythm of the breath, and the stillness in the body. So you have 2 points that should be clear. The body is in sensation, relaxation, and stillness, and the breath moving naturally. In that state, look at the space inside the forehead. Then pick a point in that space. Say mentally Shantoham. Wait there, Shantoham means I'm the peace. The image of the peace is the infinite space. When you are dropping Shantoham, your mind perceives the infinite space all around. We are not in a hurry. So again, you go back at the center of the forehead. Look inside the forehead. Recognize the space. Pick a point in the space. Drop Shanto Hum. So we're doing it just gently, as if we are playing with the mind. Continue. Shanto Hum. Shanto Hum. So you're not just dropping Shanto Hum. Every moment is with awareness. You look at the point on the forehead, then you look inside, you become aware of the space, you pick a point in the space, you are dropping Shantoham, and then you see you're totally absorbed into the space. As long as you are absorbed into the space, nothing interrupts. So continue into that state. The moment that state is broken, so you start again. One day you will find you have dropped Shantoham and your mind remains absorbed in a state of doing nothing. That would definitely be a finer and a deeper state. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your awareness on the right hand, your awareness on the left hand. Lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes. Open the eyes inside the palms. Know your experiences. Bring the hands down. We'll share our experiences. How are you, Sophie?
I'm good, Girish. Thank you. I've noticed that when we do the quick and fast breathing and I'm not falling asleep,
Good.
what happens is there, especially if it's a long time, it's like the whole body relaxes. Yeah.
Very good point that you mentioned. If we do this breathing for a longer period, more than 4 minutes, today we did it for 4 minutes, we are going to increase. Yes, the result is obvious that we find the whole body relaxes.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point. How are you, John?
Hey, Girish, I'm fine. I paid the price of getting up at 5 a.m. because I dozed off a couple of times.
You dozed off a couple of times.
Yeah.
Then I should doze off 100 times. I wake up around 3:30 or 4.
Wow. Wow.
Yes, it is more related to the mind and emotion but yes, we will talk about it. Even if you dozed off and if you are doing the practice regularly, it will go away. How are you, Charlie?
Hi, I am good. I felt alert and I felt like my body dropped away and I was floating.
Good.
So, alert and floating.
Yeah, alert and floating. Obviously, that the mind is absorbed deeper within. We will also understand, I will talk many things to talk when the mind goes deeper inside. We have variety of experiences, which includes the vision and the colors, and also we feel as if the body is floating, body has become hot and cold. Why it happens? We'll understand. But the floating, obviously, the mind is deeper within. Beautiful. How are you, Anne?
Yeah, I feel very good. There, I had no disturbing thoughts. I
Very
was
good.
meditation, and I feel peaceful.
Peaceful. That is really good. That is our objective. That is all for today. We'll meet next week. And until then, thank you.
Thank
Namaste.
you.